Ooh, that looks tasty. Welcome, folks. Today, the Hungry Gamer is back with another game review, and today we're talking about Khora, Rise of an Empire, designed by Headquarters Simulation Game Club with art by David Chapulet and Jocelyn Millet, and published by Asabition and Yellow. And I do apologize if I mispronounce any of those names. Now, what this game is this is a civilization building game. Well, that's it. That's what it is. It's a civilization building game. And before I go any further, please make sure you turn on your Klingon subtitles, because if I make any mistakes in the rules overview, that's where you will find those corrections. And essentially what you're going to be doing is you're going to be playing through a series of rounds where you will be using dice to determine which of the different actions that you're going to take, and then using those actions to go up these different tracks, claim these different regions for your own empire, and score buckets and buckets of points. Or if you're like me, score very, very, very few points. Now, if you are not interested in how this game is played and just want to jump ahead to my final thoughts, then you want to go to the timestamp on the screen right now. For those of us still here, let's talk about how this game is going to be played. Now, before I go any further, it is important to note that every player will have their own civilization board, and I will note that these right here are interchangeable, and there's several different asymmetric city-states that you can play as. And each one has 4 different powers their civilization has, and then tracks for economy, culture, and military. And I'll talk about those a little bit later, but mostly that's all you need to know is you're going to be moving up those tracks. Now, the other thing to note is, up here there are all these spots where you're going to be able to place your tokens out. And as you place those out, you're going to wind up getting bonuses, various points, and then bonuses right here. And you'll know you've unlocked one because there are these little spots marked both on this board here and your culture board. So in other words, if I were to get my military up to here, then I would claim this and I would get one of these 2 bonuses. And I'm not going to talk about that again, but just something to be aware of. So here's how a turn works. The first thing that happens is you flip out your event. And the event will change every single turn. For the first turn, it is simply this. You're going to get a bonus. But in subsequent turns, it's going to be based on various tracks that you've gone up. So in this case, the next round will be whoever has gone up the highest on the troops track, and whoever's the lowest on the troop track will get various benefits or punishments. Then once that's done, everyone will get any tax income that they have. So however high up you are, that's how many drachmas you're going to wind up getting. And once that's done, everybody rolls their dice, and then you're going to select your actions. Down here, all of these different actions, I'm going to slide them up just a little bit so we can see a little bit better, have numbers associated. And if you equal or are above the number, then you can activate that tile for free, one with each of your dice. So right now I could do any of these with what I rolled. Though you will be able to spend your citizens to adjust the value of your dice. So if I actually wanted to do this trade, I could spend 1 citizen once I reveal, and I would be able to do that. Then once that's done, you'll go through the list of actions from 0 to 6. So everybody who has selected 0 will get to do that, in which case here you would gain a single philosophy token. So the 0 gives you a single philosophy token, and that lets you do a whole variety of things I'm not going to go into. If you take the 1, you're going to gain 3 citizens, and you're going to get to draw the top 2 cards from the politics deck, keep one and get rid of the other. Culture is going to allow you to gain drachmas equal to your culture level. So if I was all the way up here, I would gain 3 drachmas. And while I'm here, I'll point out that once you get high enough, you actually unlock another die that you're able to use. So then you have culture, which is you gain points equal to your culture level. So in this case, if I was all the way up here, I'd gain 4 points. I'll also note that once you pass this spot here, you actually unlock another die. Then for trade, over here, you gain 1 drachma more than your current economy level. So looking at the board again, if I was all the way down here, I would gain 2 coins or 2 drachmas. And then I could purchase these various achievements for 5 coins each. And you're going to be using those, for the most part, to upgrade your culture. You'll see exactly what it is that you have to have in your collection. You don't spend them, but you actually have to have them in order to move up to unlock these other abilities. And for politics, you're going to get to actually play one of these cards out of your hand. And there's 3 colors of cards. There are purple cards, which are going to allow you to upgrade your engine. And what you have to play them is up there in the top right. And sometimes you'll actually have to also pay some coins to get that. So in this case, for central government, I'd have to pay 4 coins and have 2 of these green tokens here. And now the red cards are in-game scoring conditions, and then the yellow cards are instant effects that do whatever it is that they say that they're going to do. And the military action is going to allow you to gain more military, again, based on one of your tracks, in this case, the military track. So in this case, if I was all the way up here, I would gain 3 military. And then you're going to be able to conquer a region. You're going to look over here. And as I zoom in here, so if I wanted this right here, I would have to have a military strength of 9, and it would cost me 8 of my troops. So I would actually go down on my track 8 troops, and I would get to take this token, which can be used for in-game scoring, and is used to play politics cards, and I would also gain 6 drachmas. And then the last one is development. And development is how you go up here on these tracks. Again, you have to have certain tokens, and you sometimes have to pay drachmas to do that. And obviously, those of you who are paying attention and know how to count, I reverse the order of those 2, but you get the idea. Once that's done, you're going to go into what is called the progress phase. And in the progress phase, you're going to be able to go up on these tracks here. And to go up on the track, you simply have to pay the drachmas that you're about to cover up. So to go from a 1 to 2 economy, I would pay 2 drachmas, and for doing that, I would gain 3 citizens. So what you cross, you gain, and whatever the next number is what you have to pay. After that, we would resolve our events I mentioned at the beginning. Most of those are going to involve how many troops you have, but not all of them. And then finally, you would score any of those achievements, which I showed you at the beginning, which are when you cover up these different things with the shield token on there, you get a chance to get those. And you're going to play through until you get to the final card in the deck, which is always going to be this Conquest of the Persians, and it tells you how that works on there, and that will be the end of the game. Whoever has the most points will win. So, what do I like about this game? The first thing that I like about this game is it just feels good. And what I mean by that is, you're just constantly going up these tracks, and I don't know, maybe it's because I play so many Euro games, I don't know, but it just feels good. You do a thing, you go up the track, you get a thing, you use the thing. I just enjoy it, and along with it, I like the way the dice works, though more on that at the end of this. Just that idea of you roll your stuff, and you got to figure out how it is you're going to use it. You got to figure out how are you going to mitigate your dice, or are you going to mitigate your dice, because there are bonuses as you get up that citizen track, so maybe you don't want to mitigate your dice. Maybe you want to just wait and deal with what you got and move yourself up that track first, then deal with it later. How are you going to build up your civilization? Which of those tracks are you going to go up? You're going to go up that income track, that economy track, because that's going to give you boosts every single turn, but it's going to delay you getting the discoveries as you go out and conquer the world or whatever. Great choices to be made, and or are you going to try to do all 3 just a little bit and know that you're going to get beat down in some aspects of the game? It just all works very, very tightly together, and I really do like the way that works. I also like the asymmetric factions. I think they're all fun. They're all unique. They all have powers. I'm like, that's not fair! And then, of course, they see what I do. They go, that's not fair! And I love that in games that are asymmetric. I love it when everyone is overpowered in one way. Great, it's the way I like it. Though I don't know if I say they're overpowered, but you get the idea here. I like all the different cards, like the way the card play works, all the different options that are there. I think they're all fun, and they're all situational. There's never been a card that I've looked at and like, okay, I have to take this one no matter what. No, I mean, it's all about how are you playing? What's going to be useful in the moment? And I love that kind of game. But along with that, because you have these cards and you're holding these cards, you can kind of make your way towards certain things. You can develop a long-term strategy, which I think makes the game attractive to other people that aren't me, though I appreciate that too. But by now, if you watch a lot of my channel, you know I love reacting to what's happening and the kind of chaos, and I get that here. And so all of that I really like. I think the production's pretty darn good. I like the way that it looks. All of that, can't complain. So what are my quibbles with the game? And I only have a couple. The first one is with the event deck that happens at the end of each round. Though there are cards in there that are not based on military, most of them are based on military. I don't know, maybe it's 65% are based on the military. And so that kind of shoehorns you into, you have to do military, which I guess you kind of have to do anyway if you want to win the game, but it might be nice to have more cards that don't do that. What if this is based on the economy track? What if it's based on the citizen track? And suddenly, if you're mixing things like that in, that opens the game up a little bit more. The other thing is, you can just hose yourself if you just can't roll. It can happen. It's dice, and I love that about the game, but you might just keep rolling 3 and 2 and 4, and just, you can't do some of the abilities without burning through all of your citizens. And if you keep rolling low in this game, you will lose. Come at me if you want, but there's no way you're going to win this game if you continually roll low numbers. It just won't happen. And I actually started using a house rule for that, because the very first turn of the game, if you roll really low, you get a philosophy, which is exceedingly useful. It's something that really can give you a boost. And the last couple times we played, we said, well, what if we just leave that event in play? What if that's just an always rule? Every time you play, you roll low, get a philosophy. And it felt good. And I'm not saying you have to put a house rule like that in, but what I'm saying is, the reason that it felt good to us to have that is because it happens enough that you rolled low that you can't really do much of anything, or you feel like you can't do much of anything, that having that there was like, well, that's okay. I don't feel too bad that I rolled so low. And that's just something to watch for. Like I said, it's a very specific thing that I'm saying, is that rankles a little bit if it keeps happening to you. And you could be the type of person, if you are like me, that goes on what feels like long streaks of bad luck. There's times when I swear I will keep rolling dice and I just get trash over and over and over again. And that might leave you with a bad feeling. But there you have it, folks. That is Khora. I like this game. I didn't think I would, because you look at it and it's just a bunch of tracks. That's it. It's got some pretty art on some of the cards and stuff, but the board, there is no board. It's just tracks and tracks, and it's like a spreadsheet. And I just didn't think I would like it, but I heard enough buzz about why the game was fun that I was like, well, maybe I'll try this one time. So when I got the opportunity, I was like, you know what? I'm doing this, and man, am I glad that I did. I think this game is fun. It's got a couple little things that don't quite hit perfectly, but man, this is a game that I don't think is going to leave my collection anytime soon. It might, but I don't think it will. And I tell you what, if they introduce an expansion that has more of those event cards, especially ones that do different things, I will be there like that. First person backing it or buying it, because it's just a fun game if you like Euro civ building style games. So again, like many of these civ building style games, you don't really feel like you're doing a civilization, you're just going up and down your tracks. But mechanically, it's just a lot of fun. So there you have it, folks. That is Khora, Rise of an Empire. As always, if I made any mistakes in the rules overview, please let me know in the comments with a timestamp so I can get that into the Klingon subtitles. If you found this video useful, please like, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.